This is part two of my depression and suicide street and road and celebrity causes of death. Title's a little long. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on some shit, real quick before I go jump my ass in the shower. No, a lot of us have things that lead up to these things, for some of us, in my case specifically, a lot of things led me down this road, a lot of things. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of it was the lack of love from one parent or another, and I don't want to put that out there, but it's true that a lot of my depressionary reasons came from my mom. Just not loving me the way she loves everybody else. And honestly, not treating me fairly like she treated everyone else. Um, I can't say it came from my father, because it came from my father after he died, because between my two parents, my father has loved me more than my mom ever has. I hate to say that shit, but, you know, it, it is the fucking truth. And, when I lost my ex fiance 8 years ago, you know, that was the thing that started me back on my downward spiral. Before I had met my ex fiance, you know, I was I was going through so much shit that I was going to Canada to commit suicide. I was going with the wheelchair basketball team. My second father. I was going to film them. It was 2008, and I had a plan. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys this. I'm gonna give you guys this because if I'm not open about it now, you'll never know it. So before I met her, I had been through so much shit in my 35 years of life. I have been through so much shit, and none of it good. None of it. I'm gonna tell you that the God honest truth, the best phrase I heard in the movie that was not the usual suspects was in Deadpool, and he said, life is like a bunch of fucking train wrecks with brief minutes of intermission, and that's how my life was, and unfortunately has continued to be. When when I met my ex fiance, I was so far over the edge, I didn't give a fuck. I really didn't. I knew I could fight. I'm real good at fighting. I've been doing this since I was 7 years old. So one fucking thing that no one could take from me until I got into the army. Um, I had a plan. Now I've been to Canada at least 3 or 4 times before this, and so my 35th, about to be my 36th birthday, was coming, and we always went to Canada the month before my birthday to play in a tournament. I wish they still did the tournament because I needed the tournament. I need to go visit Canada. I made great friends there, and I know that they would have took care of me after I had passed. So the plan was simple, and you guys can brace yourself for this, especially if you're family. Then you need to brace yourself for this. I was going to Canada, and I don't go to bars. I go to strip clubs. I don't play around. Bars is generally where people die anyway because somebody just overstepped their boundaries. My plan was to overstep my boundary. I was going to go to a bar. I wasn't going to no strip club. I was going to a fucking bar. I was going to start a fight, and I was not going to fight back. I was just going to take a warrior's death and let them beat my ass to death and put my body in positions where no matter where they hit me, it was going to be fatal. Because I know that you have 365 pressure points in the human body. I know that for sure 250 will kill you dead, and I know at least 150 of those 250 that will kill you dead. And I just wanted it to be over. I wanted my suffering to end. I wanted it to be over. So I went across the street to a a minister. I didn't want to add her name to this, because she has passed. So I talked to her that night, and we did a whole lot of praying. She had no idea that what I was really doing was going to get her to give me my last rites without her knowing it. And, because the next day we were going to be Canada bound, and I won't coming home. I was not coming home because I refused to keep having to watch my siblings' kids and other shit. I won't coming home. There was no way in hell I was coming home. I had no reason to come the fuck back here. Not one motherfucking reason. So my plan was two things were gonna happen. I'm gonna go to Canada and I'm gonna kill myself, one way or another. I'm not gonna jump off a building because that's just a pussy way out. I'd rather be beat to death because, jumping off a building, one, what if I don't die? At least if I'm beat to death, I know that if I put my body in the right positions, or if I get one guy who hits me right, I'm gonna die, and then the problems are gonna be over. That poor sap's problem's not gonna be over, but my problems, which is the whole goal, was to be over. So I had a suicide plan. Let's go to any bar and every bar I could find and get into a fight until someone there beats me to death. I'm not ashamed of saying that. Now, I should be, but I'm not, because I've been through so much shit in 35 years of life. I've never had a great moment until I met her. So the night before, me and the priest, we prayed a little bit, and good Lord, I will say, he ain't never late. Alright? I don't know what's been going on with him and me lately, because he has been late now. But at that time, he ain't never late. So I met my ex-fiance. And for 2 years, 2 good years for me. I don't know from her perspective, but for me, it was two of the best years of my life. I never wanted it to end. I still didn't want it to end. 8 years apart, I still would rather be with her than anyone else. But you can't make anybody love you. That's present. But back then, had I not met her, I wouldn't be here today. I'd probably be in a insane asylum or somewhere. I would hope that I would actually have successfully completed the plan, which would have been to end my life, and that way I wouldn't have to suffer anymore. I wouldn't have to come home to take care of other people's responsibility. I wouldn't have to come home to suffer. I would be free, because death is true freedom. And for people who have committed suicide and for people who have attempted suicide, that's the one thing y'all don't know. We want to be free. Free of the shell that we're in, free of responsibility, free of doing things for other people who are fully capable of doing it themselves but just refuse to fucking do it. And I got so fed up with taking care of my siblings and taking care of their kids when they were right fucking there, younger and healthier, and if you don't want to take care of your children, then you shouldn't fucking have them. Your big brother shouldn't have to do the job of the asshole who impregnated you. And that's pretty much been my story all my fucking life. I have taken care of other people and never taken care of myself. And then I've been treated like dog shit by these people that I've taken care of. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm going to Canada. I'm committing suicide. I ain't coming home in anything but a body bag. Now, unfortunately, for the wheelchair basketball team, that would have been a really bit of a rough stretch for them to have to explain that to my mom. But I didn't give a shit. I didn't think about nobody but me on that. I really didn't. And like I said, this was the plan before I had met my fiance. When I met my fiance, I was given new life. I was given reason. And like I said, God was never late. He's late as fuck now, but he was never late. So I went to go take my concept film to my movie partner. And so I did that. In fact, we had just finished making The Dragon's Breath. And then that got fucked up because the shed fell on it and broke it. And I don't have the footage, so this is why that never got off the ground for everybody who's in it. Mr. Lee, I apologize to you and your family because they gave me you to film on the weekends, and to everyone in there, I apologize for that too. So on the way back, I go by Sunshine Market. I don't know why. I never walk the same route twice. Alright? I'm a creature of habit. I never walk the same route twice. And I walked through Cherry Avenue on the way to go do the movie thing. And, I never walked back that way. Never. And so, a lot of people don't believe in coincidences or miracles, and I do. I do believe in fairies and unicorns too, just in case anybody wants to give a fuck. I'm not going to go looking for them, but I do believe that they exist. But mostly because I believe in God. But if you can believe in God, then you can believe in fairies and shit, because they're all supernatural creatures. So, I decided I'm going to walk back the way I came, through Cherry Avenue. Plus, I was on a timetable, so I had to take as many shortcuts as possible. So the Sunshine Market, there was this beautiful Asian girl. Beautiful. My God, probably the most beautiful girl I ever seen in my life. And I never thought for a New York minute that she would give me the time of day. So I didn't speak to her because I saw her and I was like, this beautiful girl will never give my ugly ass the time of day ever. So a friend of ours who I knew, who I didn't know knew her, told me that she said she thought I was cute. And I was like, yeah, right. So my dumb ass goes over and says, okay, so she put you up to this, right? What kind of joke is this? She said, no, I really think you're cute. I can tell you everything she was wearing. It was a pink jumpsuit with a gray top, but she had the pink jacket on too. Just beautiful. You know, the sky hit her face just perfect. I mean, she was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. To this day, she's still beautiful in my eyes. I don't know what the fuck she looks like because I haven't seen her in 8 years by reasons of the law. But she was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. I enjoy waking up next to her every day. Now, even when we fought, I knew when I woke up the next morning, she'd be right there. Just as beautiful as hell. So, didn't hurt that she had a banging ass body too, but this was the most important thing. She was the most beautiful girl I ever seen. Alright? And for me, it was love at first sight. I'm not gonna lie about it. We're not together now. We'll never be together again. But for me, it was love at first sight. And I'm still thinking about killing myself at this time. So, I'm like, okay, let me go talk to this girl. So she gave me the phone number and I told her, I said, babe, I have the worst time on earth. I'm going to Canada in the morning. So I got her phone number. I called all my friends and I asked them if I should call her. And I called her. I probably shouldn't have called her, but I called her. We went out that night, had a great time. We shared some ice cream. My second father wasn't too fond of her, but I was in love. And when you're in love, family and shit, it goes in and out. You hear nothing except for those birds chirping and wedding bells ringing and shit like that. And that being said, we talked for a long time. So when I got to Canada, that plan of committing suicide, that shit said, right out the window, buddy. You're going back to America. You're going back to Virginia, and you're going to talk to this most beautiful fucking girl who was living on Olinda at the time. Which, unfortunately, I think I might have got her evicted because I was talking too loud and her roommate wasn't really fond of that. Anyway, good times, man. Good fucking times, man. Best of times. So she moved to 1021 King Street, which also is one of my songs. And another one of my songs was her parents' home because we had great times in those two spots. They were like great times. I wrote like mad songs about it, because I loved her. I still love her, and this is my graphic novel that I haven't published, but I got 2 albums in it, my first album was called Unconditional Love of Wedding Bell Blues. This is my weapon, excuse me. Got the wrong page there. I seen a bunch of numbers. I didn't really read the damn thing. This is why reading is important, people. So, okay. So while I got this out, this is 49 songs of my first album of the Unconditional Love of Wedding Bell Blues. When we broke up, I wrote all these songs. All of them. I do need to sing them and post them in summertime's here so I have time. I've been trying to do it for years, but I honestly can't sing, so, my songs are going to come with the graphic novel, because they're, in the graphic novel, it's an autobiography fantasy. This is an autobiographical fantasy called Love 13, because I'm in it, and my second father's in it as my manager. Anyway, so this is my second album. There's 20 plus 15. So that's a lot of songs, and this one is the one that has something to do with 1021 King Street and our 9520 Hour Country Hideaway, because we had great times there. And when you love someone, you only want to remember the great times. You don't want to remember the bad times. I didn't have any bad times, but something happened, and I was deadly serious from the day I told her, when I first got back home, I told her, look, I'm in this for the long haul. I want to marry you. So there is a song on one of these albums called Almost Married. Yeah, on my first one. So I posted a couple of those before, but when I find all my lyrics, I will sing them. Some of them are in here. I do intend on doing it. I just have to go find a place where I can record it and not be seen or judged by people. So that will be that, because I honestly can't sing. But I was going down Suicide Road and I met her, and we've had some heart to hearts, and I really love the girl, and I still love her to this day. I just can't be with her choice, And though I've moved on, I moved on by force, not by course. And I would never bring harm to her. I don't know why she thought that I would, which is why she got a judge to get me with harassment, and made it illegal for me to ever contact her in any way, shape, or form. Didn't say I couldn't tell my story though, so I'm telling my story because it has something to do with my first video about committing suicide. I wanted to commit suicide. I did make a suicide call to her when we broke up. I ain't gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that shit. I was walking somewhere and I seen some spikes, and I thought, hey, if I throw myself on these spikes, she might regret what she's done and come see me one more time before I die, which is all I ever really want now, is to see her one more time before I die, without legal ramifications, of course. And, I only want her to be happy, and I want her to be free, and I want her to be safe, and that's pretty much the end of her tale. But it's the beginning of mine, because I had decided, okay, well, the best way to kill myself is to die a hero. So I put on those dog tags. I jumped up, and I decided I'm going to the Army, because I can't live here. I can't be in the same city. I can't be in the same state, because if I'm here, I'm going to want to see her. And that hasn't changed in 8 years. I still want to see her, just to see how she's doing. Yeah, I don't have to be with her. I still love her. I just want to see how she's doing. So I got through the physical. Fort Benning, Georgia, here we come. Never thought I wouldn't get. I never thought that I wouldn't get out of the Army. I wanted to die in the Army. Because my acting career hasn't taken off. It's not going to take off, and I had to find a job. And I was desperate for money, and the way I was desperate for money was that, either I'm going to become a bad guy or I'm going to become a hero. Becoming a military man is the closest thing to being a superhero that I could get next to being a cop and a fireman. I didn't want to be a cop anymore, because cops around here in Charlottesville, bunch of fucking pussies, a bunch of rude-ass, racist motherfuckers. Not just the black ones, but the white ones too. They're all rude, racist motherfuckers. And I don't want to be associated with anybody that's going to be racist and is going to just judge you because of the color of your skin. I'd rather be a military man. When I got into the Army, there was only one fucking color: green. There was no racism when I first got in, and I had a couple of failures, so I went from being Bravo to Delta. Well, excuse me. I went from being Bravo to Golf to Delta. And Delta's where I found my home. And that's where I wanted to stay. So when I failed to shoot with my rifle because of my hip and didn't know it, because my knee was where the pain was at and I couldn't lay in a prone position, it was fucking with my shot. So I don't know if I can shoot or not, but I do know that I can't lay on my front. And we couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And then some asshole in the platoon made us have to run to the tree of woe, and I completely re-injured everything again. And I didn't want to get him a lingering charge. And then the doctor that was supposed to see me had a death in his family and never came back. So then they decided they were going to discharge me honorably. And I begged. I begged Sergeant Major Burgess. I was like, look, you can't send me home, man. I don't have nothing to go back to. You can't send me home. I need to be here. This is where I belong. Even if I have to be in boot camp until eternity, this is where I belong. And he said, I'm sorry. I know you want to be here. Your drill sergeant, the lieutenant, he wasn't the drill sergeant, he was the lieutenant, he was the guy in charge of Delta. He's like, look, he has said great things about you. He knows you want to be here. But politics kicked in, and there's nothing we can do. We have to send you home. But don't worry, you got honorable discharge because you didn't quit, But, yeah, at the same time, you have to go home because bullets and beans cost money. That spun me back on suicide road. It really did, because I did not want to come home. I did not want to leave the Army. I wanted to stay in the Army, and I needed to be there. And that was not an option. So when I came home, thank you, Dr. Bishop, because I went through some mad shit. I had a drinking problem. You name it. The only thing I didn't do was drugs outside of drinking. I drunk every fucking weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I drank every weekend. I was a functional alcoholic, as I would drink every weekend and be to work on Monday. I'd be at work. No. So, Ortiz, after my hip replacement and everything, Ortiz, thank you, sir, got me into rehab. Well, actually, before my hip replacement, yeah, way before my hip replacement, when I got out of the military, and I told him how injured I was and everything, he's like, I'm going to get you into this program. So he got me into this program because when the Army breaks you, they have to take care of you. And he pointed out all the do's and don'ts, and that's what I did. Everything I was told. And then the lady who had my case, who I will leave unnamed, because if I don't get voc rehab after this time, don't worry, lady. You will be mentioned, and don't worry. I will have a good lawyer. Anyway, so I wanted to get dead so bad, and Dr. Bishop, she pulled me back, and I was telling her, I played the fuck out of Mass Effect, and she said, well, then that's what you need to do. You need to play Mass Effect so that you don't kill yourself, because killing aliens is way better than killing yourself. Go on an adventure, get outside, breathe, do things, and so I did that, and sorry, so then, I had hurt myself, and I couldn't get rid of pain. I was like, I shouldn't be in this much pain for a knee. So I got a hip replacement after I stopped seeing Dr. Bishop, because the hip replacement came after her. And I was like, I don't know why I'm in pain. The pain won't stop. And they had a specialist look at me. It's like, dude, it's never been your knee for it been and dropped the ball. It's been your hip the entire time. I was like, well, how come they didn't catch it? It's like, well, you only complain about your knee. I said, I'm not a doctor, man. I only complain where the pain is at. So that also put me into more depression. And then after the hip replacement, I got more depression because I could no longer do kung fu. And that really took a big ass chunk of my life out, because kung fu was all I ever had. Because, once I lost my fiance, I really had no reason for living outside of kung fu. So I wanted to dig into making kung fu movies, but I couldn't lift my fucking leg. And when we found out that if I didn't have this hip replacement, I was going to be crippled for life. If I didn't have all these wisdom teeth and shit removed, and a cavity tooth, I would get an infection and I would die on a table. I kind of wanted to go that route, because I was in so much pain from not being able to do what I wanted to do. There's a groundhog who wants to know what the hell I'm looking at. And it pushed me to my maximum limit. So I will say this as I end this video, because I'm going to get in the shower, because I really got to go get my car checked out, and I've probably given you guys way too much of my life. I just needed to find a purpose to live, and suicide, it's always a heartbeat in the back of my head. It is. It's a everlasting battle. So those celebrities that committed suicide, that's why I've made this video. And I want to tell you guys, you can't tell by looking at someone if they're suicidal. You can't tell by their personality glitches if they're suicidal. You really have to get to know someone. And this is my platform. It hasn't done me any good. It hasn't done me any bad. I love YouTube. I'm probably going to end my channel soon because I don't have any followers, and I have 37 followers, and I'm grateful for all of you. But I don't have enough followers to keep getting on y'all nerves, and it's called Kung Fu Havoc #2, and I've done little to no Kung Fu on here except for like some nunchuck shit, which clearly didn't get any views or any hits or any of that shit. So, nothing I've done has made it viral. Nothing. And until I can do Kung Fu again, I'm pretty much up shit creek. So, if I take a long hiatus, it'll be because either I talked to somebody and they wanted to make movies and I didn't have to be in it, but I could film it. Then we're good because I'm totally down with that. But I'm 44 years old. I'm not getting any younger, and making movies is my passion. It's just not gonna happen because certain studios in Virginia, with the promise of Hollywood East, are a bunch of Hollywood liars, which also led me down this path. You're in the business of making movies. Make movies. I'm gonna end with this. For everybody's watching, if you are having depression or suicide issues, every state in America, even Alaska, has a suicide hotline. I do not know every state's phone number. I do not know Virginia state phone number because I can call the Army suicide line and I have that in my wallet. If you are a veteran and you're watching this, you definitely need to call the Army suicide line. I will tell you, depending on what city you are in, especially if you're in Virginia, call McGuire. It's already automatic on their answering machine that will give you what you need. Um, Thank you guys for hearing me out. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Apple number 2. No, I'm not pasting this on Facebook. But so that you guys know, suicide can come from anywhere, anybody, at any time, and there's not a lot you can do to notice it or be aware of it. But you can pray for people. So y'all should probably pray for me too. And I'm going to get in the shower so I can cover up the tears that's about to fall out of my face. I'm James Williams Jr. Be seeing you.